Stay tuned to the end. We're going to be announcing the winner of the 1,500 subscriber giveaway. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. What's up, guys? I'm here with 2017 World Long Drive Champion Justin James. We're here at the beautiful Orange County National Golf Club. Justin's going to take us through his overspeed training. I am especially excited to see this, see if there's a thing or two that I can take and add to my routine. You might be in trouble, big guy.
Yeah, I probably already am, based on, but no, yeah. I don't want to give you any more tools, so just don't watch this one.
Overspeed training, something you use a lot, a little bit?
Yeah, sparingly though.
Okay.
So it's one thing we'll go over is speed, plyometrics. It takes a toll on your body.
Yep.
So you got to use it sparingly, and the whole point is to go as fast as you can. You can't do that all the time.
Right.
Right. So you got to pick your spots, and we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, you got to go fast to go fast.
And that's one of the things that through my conversation with Justin that I've really been impressed with is there's a very surgical approach. You know, he uses a wide array of different things, but the value in what he does is more in the timing of it. I think, you know, like he said, I think a lot of times people just go out and they swing these sticks, but they don't take into account kind of where their nervous system's at, how their body's feeling. And like you said, there's a time and a place, and that's one thing that the sport of long drive has you start to kind of figure out when you're in it. So talk about your routine, when you do it, how often you do it, and then let's go through it.
So I can't give you like a set protocol because, you know, when I've tried to, okay, I'm gonna do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I wake up Friday and I don't feel great, like that's not the day. And you can obviously monitor HRV, a lot of cool stuff you can do there, okay? But I'm only gonna do this when I'm feeling snappy, feeling poppy, okay? I'm gonna drink caffeine before I do it. I gotta be feeling good. Because if I come here and I need to be swinging under speed at 165, okay, and I'm 158 that day, it's not doing me a lot of it. The whole point is to try to continue to push PRs up. Okay, if you want to swing a club consistently, like on the course, say your goal is, hey, I want to be 125 out there, or I'd love to be able to play in a tournament and step up on 15T par 5 and have my ball speed be 180. Well, you got to put in as many reps at 190 as possible. That's the way that works. It just doesn't come out of your rear end. Right. Like it's, you know, the guy who's going to hit 180 on the course is the guy who's hit 195 1,000 times on the range. Right. Not the guy who's hit 180 one time and is like, why don't I have that on the, it's like, you know, walking across a 3-foot plank. You know, if you've done it a million times, it's no big deal, right? So with this stuff, it's about pushing those numbers up and not just say, I'm gonna do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've done it for 3 months. Why am I not faster? It's about intention. And it's not about the guy who puts the most work in. It's about the guy who does it the fastest and, you know, picks his spots, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, to your point, I think there's a point with overspeed training or when you're doing anything fast that if you're doing it on kind of a worn out body, you could actually go the opposite way. You know, if you could actually start to decline if you're over fatigued for a long duration. And the better you
get at it, and the misconception is that professional athletes in any sport, they're outworking everybody, they put more work in, and the dirty little secret, and I'm not going to speak for anybody, and we'll get tons of comments about this guy and whatever, but I can tell you the further along I've gone in my career, the more sparing you are, and it's not necessarily because of age, but look, I would hit 3 times a week starting out because my ball speed was 190, and then it was 195, then it was 200. But now when you go out, if your ball speed's 215, 220, 225, it's a little bit rougher on your body, okay? You're swinging 150 instead of 140, okay? So the volume, you gotta pay attention to that, right? And elite power lifters, you'd be surprised at how simple their workouts are. These are the strongest guys on earth, right? So for somebody just starting out, I might have them swinging 3 times a week. Yeah. And I might say, hey, you can just start with a sand wedge, no problem. A guy like yourself, okay, we're gonna get a little bit more specific. Hey, I want that at length, 48 inches. Like, you know, this guy here, the longer. I want a heavy implement, a light implement, okay? So you've got to be selective and pick your spots.
Right.
You know, I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, I think to that point, I heard a cool story about Usain Bolt, and one of the things that as the story went, it talked about why he trusted his coach so much. And the big thing was that his coach knew that if he didn't show up to practice one day because he was fatigued, there was a reason for that. So he would only kind of practice when he felt primed and ready to go. Now, obviously, I wasn't there for the full story, so there might be some inaccuracies to it, but that kind of resonated with me and really hit home in terms of when I am kind of selective of going fast or not.
Yeah, it's quality over quantity, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So let's jump into it. So what tool do you start with? Obviously, you got a little swing meter here, track and speed. I think that's really important because people who go out, you know, swing these sticks or swing a driver without any quantitative feedback, in my opinion, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, and the speed, it's not life and death, but it's a good indicator. And the reason I use this too, I am not a guy who I'm all out for a swing. I don't like that. I don't advocate for it. I want to progressively build speed. I think it's better for sequencing. I think it's better for the health of your body, longevity, and your nervous system. Right. So I want to build into that, and then when you're in the heat of the moment, the course, the adrenaline's going, you'll be able to get that. Don't worry. Right. As far as tools, I use a variety of different tools. You know, I have a slingshot here, a super speed, tools from Mach 3. For those of you watching, to me, the most important thing, and I do have my preferences and favorite products, but don't get stressed out about sets and reps. Don't, keep it simple. Yeah. And especially for like my juniors, if I have sand wedge and driver, just differing weights, like that's cool. Now, if you can get some of the best products, like do so. But I want you swinging, I want you building speed. So I'll go through the routine. And this is just, a slingshot. It's, one of my favorite tools, but I'm gonna start. Arm speed's a huge thing, and some of the later videos we'll get in, but I think Malaska is a guy that I've worked with for a while. He's one of my favorite teachers in the whole world. Arm speed is like undervalued in the hands in the golf swing. Everybody talks about the body, and like, where does power come from? Well, TPI has done a lot of work. Long drivers, you know what we do like better than anybody? Like, our arms go faster because we're generally better athletes. Don't mean to offend anybody, but then tour players. Like, it's just that's why we, but we're not on tour, okay? They're better golfers.
We'll take their bank accounts.
Yeah, exactly. But we're, generalization, better athletes. And I know Dustin Johnson can dunk, but don't start, okay? But we have better arm speed. So I was a professional pitcher, Tim Burke. We have these athletic backgrounds. So we want to develop some of that. So I'm going to start just with one hand, my right hand. Okay, and this is why I'm starting very slow, just working on some whip and some sequencing out front. That was 51. Next one, I'll be 56. I'm gonna build some speed. Okay, and just working on kind of whipping out front. That was 64. I'm gonna do 5 to 10 reps. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here all out to where I have tennis elbow the next day to where I feel like I'm gonna die. Very easy here, okay? And for those of you watching at home, and okay, why would you do that one arm? Gentle, okay, I'm building into it. But this is great for a lot of people because they're not throwers. They weren't high school quarterbacks. They didn't pitch in the minor leagues. Okay, so this kind of throwing and sequencing action out front with their right and their left hand, okay, is gonna be really good for them in creating some speed at the bottom. Okay. Right hand, left hand, and I'm gonna do it with 2 hands, and I'm gonna start to build speed over 5 to 10 reps. When do I stop? You'll know. Like, if you hit 100 2 times, and you're like, hey, I'm kind of tired, shut it. Got it. And I'm not working to failure in anything that I do. I'm always leaving a couple reps in the tank. Okay. So I'll go to my feet, same process, just arm speed. Okay, so I'm standing, I'm gonna go right arm, and the same thing, start nice and easy, okay? And I'm gonna work that first one was 54, I'll end it, I don't know, 90, 100, who knows. But I'll just keep building the speed. Right hand, left hand,
so you go 5 right, 5 left.
And again, always hesitate on a rep range. The minimum is 5, I'm at 5 to 15. But just to where I feel like I'm loose, I'm snapping, and you'll be able to feel it. Okay, that one wasn't sequenced so well, that was better. Okay, right, left, and then I'm doing both arms, have kind of a narrow stance because I'm still just sort of arm speed. Okay, 77. 88. Okay, just working that faster and faster. That one was 92. I'll keep climbing the ladder. And you know when you're kind of at the top, okay? There you might try to get 1-2 more miles an hour, but you'll know when to shut it down, okay? Then I'll just so I'm basically just arm speed, widen my stance a little bit. Now I'll put some body behind it, okay? Because I don't have an exact number, but 70% of your speed or potential is gonna come from hands and arms. If you put me on my knees, I'm still hitting that thing 300, 350 maybe, right? It's just, I'm sorry, because my hands and arms are fast. Same thing with you, same thing with most long drivers, okay? Then where we hit it 400, 420 comes from here. Like the real motor, the remaining 30%, the elite golfers, they use their body a little bit better. They use the ground a little bit better, okay? But a lot of, and Alaska explains this the best, a lot of amateurs, power comes from the body. They swing like this. Well, there's not a lot there, right? You still need to be an athlete, get up and let that thing fly. So that's why we're developing that arm speed. Now we just add a little body behind it. And you'll notice your speed increase a little bit. So that was 94. Okay, and we keep climbing the ladder, okay? I'll add a little bit more after that with a little drop step. So I'm trying to increase some ground force, add some momentum. Okay, and I'm gonna try to climb 98. I'll try to climb, with the long drive stick at 48 for me, into the 140s, the 150s, the 160s.
Got it.
So basically starting with arms, okay, because that's where in my opinion, okay, and some biomechanists might prove me wrong, and I'm always willing to be wrong, okay? But from my experience of what I'm feeling, and this is from baseball world, and this is from golf world, the majority is coming from your arms and your hands and your upper body. Like Craig Kimbrell, closer, throws 100 miles an hour. You put him on his knees, he's still gonna throw the ball 300 feet, right? We put him on his feet, then I'll probably throw it 400 feet, right? But for me, first thing, if I'm building an athlete, I want them to have fast, explosive hands and upper body. And, golf's played with the hands too, irons, shaping shots. Then I'm gonna take it from hands and arms. We're standing to our feet, arm speed. Then I say add the body, okay? And again, the math is not probably obviously correct, but 70% coming from here, the remaining, the elite speed coming from the body. And the better we use our body, the more potential we have when we get to 100, 110%. Then I'm like, okay, we've added our body, let's add some ground force and really feel trail loading and lead loading. Okay, and there's variations of step drills we can do there. Some people struggle to get their trail side. I like this. Okay, there's the step, where you step into it, where we're here and there. So there's various drills you can do, and Super Speed has a lot of great stuff there. Okay, the last one I'll do, we've seen the Happy Gilmore drill, and this is all about speed. I like a step behind, okay, because one of my things that I'll struggle with is, as a long driver, opening up too soon. So I'm gonna step behind.
You're saying you do open too soon?
Yes, yeah. So I will twist upper body and kind of get too steep, and obvious, because we're trying to go as hard as we can. So I want to keep my back to the target, stay closed as long as I can, step behind, and go through. And I'm just creating momentum and creating speed. This is the most important part of it. This is where I actually pay attention to it, and where I'm trying to get this monitor to go up and up into the 160s. Okay, so all the drills before, I was trying to add speed, but I wasn't really stressed out. This is the whole point. It's that last drill for me. This is where I'm gonna try set PRs, and this is where I feel long-term it's gonna carry over to the course. Got it. Okay, so I go through that whole process, and we can do it at overspeed, and then if we're bold, we can go ahead and do it at a lighter speed. We can go from red to green in super speed. We can lighten this implement up. You can go from sand wedge to driver, right? And so for me, what I'm really paying, I start heavy, and then I go light, and that's different than I think some other protocols who might go light and heavy. Got it. But I'm trying. My main focus is just, what do I have that day? And in this particular monitor, speed, it saves your last number. So like, I know last time I was at 164, that's the first number that pops up. So that's what I'm trying to beat that day. Got it. Right, I'm trying to get there, close to there, or PR that. That's the whole point. If you keep doing that, you are progressing and you are getting faster.
Got it. So start with your arms, move to your body, add a little bit of a step, you're starting the sequence with heavy, and then you're repeating that again with a lighter club.
With light, yep.
So
and you can go all the way through.
Are you doing in between, or you?
You can do it either way. And like, I'm so big on individuality because that's the way I was coached. And when I work with David, kind of suggest something and say, hey, you're a good athlete, like play with it. So if it feels great to you going all the way through and then going all the way through light, do that, and I'll switch it up too. Right. Again, what's important to me is here and there. Like if these are increasing, then I know I'm on the right track, and it's a great lesson for people at home. Week 1, if you're 95, week 2, you're 98, keep riding that wave, dude. Yeah. If it plateaus or it goes the other way, mix something up, work with your coaches, but you can't argue with performance, right? And that's, like, people like to mix things up and we have muscle confusion, whatever. Simplicity is your friend, especially when those numbers are working up. Yeah. And I do this sometimes every 10 days, Josh. Like, I don't, it's sparingly, because it is, when you do speed work and the faster you are, the more toll it takes on your body. If you look at some of the early, like, Russian or I guess Soviet literature, plyometrics are used very sparingly. And we use plyometrics now, and this for me is a form of plyometrics. We're going so fast. They're used in warm-up. Plyometrics are like, they're fast. They take a toll on your nervous system. So you'll find benefit too using this sparingly. It doesn't have to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or even once a week. Pay attention to your body and use these sparingly, and you'll see big gains.
All right, guys, so the moment you've all been waiting for months now. Justin, do you want to announce who the winner is? Now, remember, the winner gets to choose which one they want.
Have we seen these, brother? I just looked at them.
Yeah, so.
Unbelievable. I'm bummed. I'm not eligible now since I'm a contributor, which I'm thinking about, because not, stepping back so I can.
So we got the Scotty Cameron Global Limited, BMW inspired. And then we also got the Scotty Cameron T22 with the Trillium face, beautiful. Newport, 34 inches. All right, should we get a little drum roll, Paul?
Yeah, I'm sure you edited Tanner. Nothing fancy, just Tanner, straight up. Yeah. I like it.
We'll pop your YouTube account up. So be sure to shoot me an email with proof that it's you, joshkochgolf@gmail.com, and then let me know which putter you want, and we'll get that shipped out to you ASAP. Congrats, yes, we got some more giveaways coming up. Perhaps maybe we'll even give the opposite one away, whatever one he doesn't take. So we might have another Scotty Cameron available.
If I don't steal it.
If Justin doesn't steal it. So, all right, guys, if you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you're not yet subscribed, we would greatly appreciate that. From Orlando, Florida, Justin James, Josh Koch, we'll see you next time.